All right, how to shoot a pistol in less than 60 seconds. Take your dominant hand, make a fist, put your thumb on top, support hand, wrap it around. It's a volleyball grip. So when we're incorporating that into shooting, grip the gun high, you don't want any space there. With your trigger, just the tip of your finger, you're gonna feel the wall, most triggers have it, and you're gonna slowly squeeze straight back as you focus on the front sight. The gun should not jerk. So now let's incorporate that with live fire. So volleyball grip, focus on the front sight, nice and slow. And you'll hit it every time. All right, so when aiming down your sights, you have to line them up as even as you can. You don't want it like that, you don't want it like this. You have to line them up as even as you can, and then you're gonna slowly squeeze. That's one-handed, good grip, good trigger control, and that's lining up the sights properly. So that's how to shoot a pistol in less than 60 seconds. What's up guys, Ryan here from Begginer. Today I have a pretty cool video to share with you. This is gonna be 5 drills that'll help you if you're a new shooter or if you're not new. So for beginners, we are gonna be talking about shooting a pistol. And 2 things we have to talk about before we can get to shooting is proper grip and proper trigger control, because grip and trigger control are the main things that'll make you a good shooter. So you don't wanna hold the gun low, you want a high grip on the gun. And then as far as trigger control goes, every gun has some take up in the trigger right here. Sorry, I have to hold it upside down. Every gun has some take up in the trigger right here. You don't want to just jerk all the way through because the gun's going to move as you do that. You have to use the tip of your finger, slowly squeeze till you feel the wall. You're going to focus on your front sight and then slowly pull back till it goes off. And you can get a lot of good dry fire practice at home without shooting, just practicing that, just slowly squeezing, making sure your iron sights are not jumping as you are firing, or your red dot. I'm using iron sights today. And yeah, so high grip and proper trigger control are gonna make you a better shooter right off the get-go. But to start, let me get my ears and eyes on. We're gonna be talking 5 drills that I think will make you a more confident shooter and more accurate. All right, so high grip, and then we're gonna find our sight, slowly pull the trigger. I'm at that wall right now and I'm focusing on my front sight and slowly squeeze back until it fires. And now I'm gonna let go until I feel the audible click, which is right there. I'm not gonna waste any more movement by going forward. I'm gonna just squeeze again, feel the click, feel the click. And what that's gonna do is you don't have to waste all that trigger movement to fire the gun again. You are just ready to fire sooner, and hopefully as long as you focus on your sights, the sights are already back on the target. You don't wanna fire until you have a clear line of sight at the target, but doing those 2 things will make it that much better with the trigger press and the reset. So the first drill is all we're gonna do, we're gonna hold the gun, we're gonna press out, and we're gonna do those 2 fundamentals I told you, and we're gonna squeeze the trigger. And we're gonna just repeat this. You can do this indoors or outdoors with a steel target or paper targets. I have steel out here at like 10 yards. You're gonna control your breathing. You're gonna slowly press out, focus on your front sight, slowly squeeze. And then you're gonna bring it in, press out, slowly squeeze. And what this is gonna do, you're gonna build up that speed of finding the sights with your eyes. So you're not like looking for it. You're gonna just bring the sights to your eyes, slowly squeeze. And it's okay if the gun goes up a little bit. You don't wanna like prevent the recoil, but you wanna apply equal pressure on both sides, because if you apply too much pressure on the right, the gun's gonna go to the left. If you apply too much pressure on the left, it's gonna go to the right. So just nice and smooth. It's okay if it goes up, because you gotta control the recoil back. So again, we're gonna press out, find our sight. We're gonna slowly squeeze this trigger straight back. We're not gonna turn it to the side. We're gonna just go as straight back as we can, and that'll make it more accurate. So a lot of right-handed shooters shoot low and to the left. That's because they're anticipating they'll dip right before they fire, and they're pulling the trigger too much, so they'll shoot low and to the left. Left-handed shooter might shoot low and to the right. But if you practice those fundamentals and just slowly squeeze straight back, it should be a pretty accurate shot. And then on paper, you'd aim, center, and hopefully your group will get better just doing those 2 things. So that's the first part of the drill. The second part is you're gonna do the exact same thing, but one-handed. And the reason why I would say do one-handed, because it really forces you to focus on those fundamentals. Because if you're off, the gun is gonna move a lot. And you'll notice the recoil control might be a little bit more, but as long as I'm controlling the trigger pull, it will still be a hit. So, and I'm gonna keep my left hand right here so it's out of the way. Take a breath, nice and calm, slowly squeeze. And you see the gun moves up more, but I'm still hitting the target because I'm focusing on that trigger fundamental, and then I got a good, nice grip. All right, so same thing, we're gonna press out, feel the trigger. You're gonna feel the wall right before it fires. And as you slowly pull, keep your sight on the center of the target, and it should hit. We'll do it again. We'll do it again. And what this is doing is, again, you're finding your sights, but it's forcing you to have proper trigger control. And if you're not used to recoil, doing this or starting with two hands and then going to this, you're gonna master that recoil a lot better than if you just held it however someone taught you. Like, you don't wanna go like this. I see this a lot at the range. Or you're just jerking the trigger. Again, here, switch me sides real fast. So I'm gonna do this one-handed, and can you zoom in, or can you get a little closer to just the trigger? So you're gonna see what I'm talking about. So there's a little bit of take up. So you feel the take up, and then, do you see it? So there's a little bit of take up, and most triggers have this. You're gonna slowly squeeze while you're focusing on the front sight. I'm gonna feel that reset. It's gonna be an audible click, and I'll feel it on my finger. So I feel it right there, and then I'm gonna fire again. And then what that does is, when you feel that wall and you slowly fire, I'm not wasting any trigger movement. I'm not letting all the way off to redo it again. And doing it that way, I'm not wasting any trigger movement. I am pulling it straight back, and I'm letting the gun recoil where it needs to go. But as I find the sight picture as it comes down, I like slowly squeeze until it goes off. All right, so let's say you've been outdoor shooting or indoor shooting. You've worked on just finding your sights and mastering that trigger control. I would say the third step would be having a proper holster for the gun. Now, holsters come in a lot of options. You don't need to spend an insane amount of money to get a decent holster. I'd say they start in like the $30 to $50 range, and they go up from there. But once you feel comfortable shooting, or maybe when you buy your gun, you buy your first holster. And with a holster, what I look for is, for an open carry, you want it to retain the gun, which I'm using a Safariland holster. I also use T-Rex Arms Ragnarok holster. So this one has a thumb brake, so the gun will not come out unless I press right here with my thumb. So I like that style of retention. I also like the T-Rex Arms Ragnarok holster. That one is just friction based, so there's no button, but it is held tight with friction, and you still have a really good draw. So those are my two main brands of holsters, but there's a lot of other good options. My very first holster was a Blackhawk Serpa holster. Those were like 25 bucks. But yeah, so with an open carry holster, what you want is it to retain your gun, not let it fall out. Like, it should be pretty firm. And we're gonna basically just practice the same fundamentals with the holster. So you're gonna draw, finger off the trigger till you're forward at the target, find your sight, and squeeze. And then we're gonna holster. And when I holster, I bring the gun in like when I was first starting. So press in, or from pressed out, when we bring it in. And then my left hand kind of breaks and stays right here at my chest. And my gun goes right back in my holster. And doing this repeatedly, we'll just build that good fundamental of finding your sight and having a good draw. And you could dry fire practice this at home with no ammo in the gun, and just practice drawing, finding your sight. And you just want to build that muscle memory of the movement. So for me, it's going to be draw, right here, my hands meet, I find my sight, and I slowly squeeze. So we'll do it with the gun. So draw, hands meet, find my sight, slowly squeeze. And then in, and holster. And you don't want to go faster than what you're comfortable with to start. You will build up speed over time, but accuracy and fundamentals come before speed. And as you get more comfortable with the drawing aspect of it, you can slowly incorporate building up the speed. And one thing that would help with that would be a shot timer. These are a good investment because it gives you a level of standard. So like, you can practice your time every time. So I'm gonna do a couple draws, and I'm gonna go a little bit faster, not too fast. So with this, it's gonna time me. So we got 3-second countdown. So that draw to fire was 2.04 seconds. And what I can do is I'll shoot that 3 to 5 times to get a standard of like what my average is, and then I will work from there. And over time, you can shave tenths of a second off your time. And tenths of a second is a lot, especially if you are thinking about this for self-defense or competition. Competition shooting, this is very practical as well. So I'm gonna do it again. So my draw was a little bit slower on that one because I didn't press the button fast enough, but that was a 245. So that was 178. That was 154. I have a malfunction. And when you're shooting, if you ever have a malfunction, you want to identify. So this did not go all the way into battery. And what I can see is if I rack back, oops, it'll go. So it didn't go all the way into battery, so I just racked it back a little bit and it went forward. So I'm going to try that again. So that was 172. That was 175. That was 161. That was 150. So you'll see I'm slowly getting faster, but we have to work our way up to this. I'm going to do it one more time and then we'll move on to the next one. So that was 144. And what's nice about the timer is, again, you can build speed. Fundamentals come before speed always, but as you get more comfortable, it's okay to challenge yourself because that's how you get better. You don't grow by not challenging yourself. So again, once you master the basics, you just slowly work your way up. And this is how I started. I watched a lot of YouTube videos. I would say some good channels that I like watching is T-Rex Arms, Mil-Spec Mojo, Instructor Zero. Those guys on YouTube have a lot of free knowledge out there for you guys. And all I'm doing is passing it along. So the next step would be a concealed carry holster. I have to take my belt off for this, and I brought out a different gun for that. You might have a pistol that you could do an open carry holster and a concealed carry holster for, and I think it's nice to have one gun that serves both purposes. This one's strictly open carry as of right now, but I have some pistols that are both. I have a concealed carry holster for them and the open carry holster. But we're going to get into the concealed carry, and the fundamentals are going to be very similar. All right, so the fourth drill would be concealed carry draw. And for this one, I have a different pistol. This one does have a red dot on it. My first gun was a Smith & Wesson Shield, my first concealed carry gun. And for the last 7 years, I've been carrying that, but I just got this a couple months ago with a red dot. It's a Glock 43. But you don't need a red dot to start. I think training with iron sights first is very important. That's like learning the stick of shooting guns is iron sights. But as you get better and you want to invest in yourself, a red dot is a nice option because it helps you pick up the sight faster. But yeah, so I conceal carry appendix. This will also work if you conceal carry from the side. The concept's the same. We're going to practice finding our sights and practice good trigger control. So conceal carrying is a little like nerve-wracking for some people because you have a pistol pointed at your body. So it really forces you to have those proper fundamentals. You do not want to have your finger on the trigger until you are ready to shoot downrange because you are theoretically pointing it at yourself on the way out. But as you get more comfortable, this is the way to carry. I really only conceal carry. I don't open carry unless I'm at the range or something like this. But yeah, I conceal carry in public, and for me, I carry appendix most of the time. You can also carry on the side. I don't practice behind the back, but I know some people do. But for me, I'm gonna do the same drill. Just gonna relax. I'm gonna draw, which for me, being appendix, I have to do left hand to lift up my shirt. I'm gonna draw, find my sight, and the fundamentals are the same. Now in a smaller gun, there's a little bit more recoil, so you have to master those fundamentals a little better. Because if you don't have proper grip, don't have proper trigger control, on a smaller gun, it is gonna kick more than the full-size gun I was just using. So we're gonna holster the gun again, finger off the trigger, and we're gonna do it again. So draw, hands meet right here, press out, find the sight, slowly squeeze. Do it again. And as you get better, you can slowly add more speed. Oh, I went too fast. And you'll notice my head is not moving to find my sight. My sight is finding my eyes. So I don't want to be fishing for my dot. And some people, I would say if they're not used to shooting pistols, when they go to a red dot without mastering iron sights first, they have to find their dot. As you get more comfortable, you build that muscle memory of where that pistol needs to go. Your eyes find the dot for you. So I can pick up a little bit more speed. practice reload while I'm at it. So yeah, these are just some steps that'll help you build up. We're not talking about reloading in this video, but as you learn this stuff, you'll learn reloading and you'll build up the reloading skills a little bit faster. But yeah, these are just very nice steps that'll help you become a better shooter. And I'll just repeat this. So again, indoor ranges will allow you to draw from the holster normally. You might have to get qualified at their range, but this is something I practice at an indoor range too. I'll start the target out pretty close and work my way out. And that's how I'll train new shooters is we'll work on just pressing out and then one-handed and then open carry and then conceal carry. And then the fifth step to all this would be adding more rounds. So I start with 1 round first because most people don't buy thousands of rounds when they buy their first gun. They buy a few boxes here and there. And what I think a lot of people mistake when they do this, or one big mistake they do when they do this, is they load up the mag and they just start dumping ammo. But ammo is obviously expensive, and if you're just dumping ammo, you may not be building the skill. Every round you can build more skill with that 1 rep. So 1 rep of drawing, 1 rep of finding your sights versus just dumping and then reloading, finding your sight 1 time and dumping. Using just 1 round to start will help you build up the most muscle memory the fastest. But the 5th step would be adding more rounds, because being able to hit the target repeatedly while mastering those skills, I think, is important. You don't want to only be able to hit 1 round. You need to be able to consistently hit multiple. So I'm going to do 3 rounds on this one. And I would say 3 rounds would be that golden 5th step. Like, you want to practice getting multiple rounds on target accurately. I think I have 3 rounds in here. We'll see. Exactly 3 rounds. But you notice, I find my sight, I'm not jerking the trigger, and it allows me to be accurate with those 3 rounds. We're gonna go back to the duty belt holster to show you this, but yeah, that's a concealed carry Glock 40. All right, so the 5th and final drill would be to be doing any of the 4 we just talked about with multiple rounds. And I'm gonna say 3 is a good basis. It really forces you to control the gun. So 3 rounds, and we'll build up speed. So you could do this from concealed carry. I don't know if I talked about it before, but that concealed carry holster was a tier 1 concealed. If you are getting into this as your lifestyle, I would say investing in good quality holsters is important. You spend a lot of money on your phone, you might spend a lot of money on your clothes. Spending money on a good quality holster that you're gonna use for years is very nice. And I think it's beneficial to you building up good skill. All right, so 3 rounds again. We can go off the shot timer if you have a shot timer. If not, no worries. So that was 3 rounds in 2.58 seconds. .48. Bad draw. 3.46 because I did not press the button fast enough. We'll practice a reload. And if you have a belt setup, you can start adding more attachments. This is a G-code belt setup, and it allows me to have pistol mags on the side so I can reload. And then my concealed carry holster is a tier 1, and it stores 1 extra mag so I can reload. But that was in 5.90 seconds with that reload. That was 1 miss, but 2.76. So as you build up speed, it's okay to miss, because that means with speed and shooting, it's okay to go faster, but once you start missing too much, you got to slow down. If you're hitting every shot every single time, that means you can go faster. So it's kind of push yourself till you start to not push yourself till you fail, and then scale it back. It's the same thing with working out. You do a 1 rep max to see if you can hit it, but if you don't hit it, then you tone it back down again. So this is how you build up the skill, is by pushing yourself. Oh, too fast, but 2.42. I think I can do it in a 2.3 if I push myself and really focus on the fundamentals. Ah, that was bad. I like hesitated because I didn't think I hit it. My start button got stuck. That was 2 seconds, but I missed the second shot. So let me see if I can do that better. .05. So that's actually better than I thought I could do. Now, it turns into skill when you can do it consistently. .01, but I missed the first shot. But you kind of see the point that I'm saying here. You can build up skill and speed with the proper fundamentals. And I hope this video helped you. All right, guys, that wraps it up for this video. I hope it was helpful for you. If this was helpful, please feel free to comment and like the video. Also subscribe to the channel. I plan on doing more information. I'm not the best shooter by any means, but I'm trying to get better myself and trying to help you along the way. And yeah, stay tuned for more videos, guys.